What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joshua Edwards, live from Brooklyn, New York. This is Joshua's Proximity. Hey, wherever you live, if you live under a rock, if you have not heard this news, I don't know really what else to tell you at this time currently speaking. So, the Dallas Cowboys officially traded Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers for Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks. And we know that the Cowboys have been at odds with Micah Parsons for quite some time. And I think this right here, him laying on the training table in the last preseason game, kind of really struck a nerve with Jerry Jones and just resonated with Dallas Cowboys fans worldwide. But that's not really the biggest issue right here. The biggest issue is that the Dallas Cowboys traded legitly a Hall of Fame talent, a generational talent at the edge position. If Micah Parsons continues this trajectory for the rest of his career, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, Jerry Jones was on the record saying, hey, remember what we traded for Herschel Walker? This is not the Herschel Walker deal. You got more from Herschel Walker than probably anybody in NFL history outside of the Ricky Williams trade when the Saints gave up everything to go get him. And you just look at Micah Parsons. Khalil Mack went for more than him. Jamal Adams damn near went for more than Micah Parsons. There are a lot of players that went more for their star-studded receivers, star-studded defensive player, star-studded edge rusher. You could have got more compensation, one, if you didn't wait as long as you did. If the Dallas Cowboys were to trade him before the actual draft happened, you would have had so much draft capital this past draft. It would have set you up even better for the next couple of years. So I understand you go out here and you draft Donovan Ezeraku, the edge rusher from Boston College. But these guys and guys that you're dependent on, you talk about you want to wait for, or you're trying to establish a run defense. Micah Parsons, yes, he wasn't the best per se at the rushing attack, but you don't trade away pass rushers. The first thing that you need when you're building a NFL organization, one, you need a quarterback. Every team that is actually out here competing has their guy, whether that's the Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Eagles, the Packers before this trade. Everybody that is legit, the Lions, that is a legit contender, the 49ers, have their quarterback in set. And then the next thing that you have is an edge rusher. Do the Bengals have an edge rusher? Yes. The Kansas City Chiefs, do they have an edge rusher? You can say Chris Jones is, quote-unquote, their edge rusher. The Baltimore Ravens, yes, they got a lot of interchangeable pieces. Do the Buffalo Bills, now they have Joey Bosa. They had Von Miller last year. The Eagles, we know what they had defensively last year. And the Lions, Aiden Hutchinson, just go look. The 49ers, Nick Bosa. All these teams, one, have their quarterback and they have their edge rusher. So when you're just looking at trying to establish a great team, you build around edge rushers. You don't trade somebody in their prime. The Raiders made a mistake and traded Khalil Mack. And John Gruden said, I should have never done it. I should have never dealt away that type of player. Now, if you're at odds because you didn't want to give him $132 million guaranteed, I'm just sorry, man. Somebody in the Jones family should have stepped up and said, Dad, this is not the wave. Dad, this is not the move. Yes, this might cost me my family fortune. This might cost me my inheritance for quite some time. But, Dad, this is not the move. You don't trade away your best pass rusher. I don't give a damn if he's on a training table texting people in the preseason. You do not trade away your best talent, especially on that side. And you just look at the players and how they responded. CeeDee Lamb was upset. You see, I think Deron Bland also put out a tweet. Trayvon Diggs put out a tweet. It's just a lot of dysfunction within the Dallas Cowboys organization. And there's an old saying, Pride goes before the fall. And Jerry Jones is too prideful. He thought that they had a deal. Him and Micah Parsons had a deal early on this offseason. And he's like, Micah Parsons ended up reneging. And now I don't want anything to deal with him. Well, we're going to find out in the next couple of years how this looks. The Green Bay Packers are officially the top 2, top 3 contenders in the NFC. They can easily win the NFC and go to a Super Bowl now that they have traded for Micah Parsons. Now, I do want to transition a little bit because college football is officially here. There's some college football games going on last night, and there is a couple of more going on tonight. This game right here, Colorado versus Georgia Tech. There is a lot at stake for Colorado. One, because it's a primetime game. Two, it's at home. And thirdly, this is the first time we are actually going to see Coach Prime with a different quarterback at his helms. He's no longer going to have Shedeur Sanders out there throwing the football for him. Shedeur plays for the Cleveland Browns. We're going to see exactly what this team is built off of. And I'm excited for it. I think a lot of people are actually rooting for Colorado, especially after the year that they had. They finished top 25. They should have been ranked this year. And, you just look at the Georgia Tech. What problems do they present? If you remember anything from back old school Georgia Tech, they ran a lot of triple options. I'm not saying that they're going to be out here doing triple options this season. I don't know exactly what their offensive playbook looks like. But we know, obviously, Calvin Johnson came from Georgia Tech. And there's a lot of good players over there at Georgia Tech. So for this game, there's a lot at stake. It's going to be nationally televised. A lot of people are going to be watching Friday night, the week before the NFL regular season actually kicks off. Coach Prime, what are you going to do? How are your guys going to look? Is it going to be disciplined? Is it going to be great football? And I think that when you put all of it together, it's going to be a great showing for just college football in general. A lot of people are taking the unders because it's the first week. You might want to take the unders. And we know what games are slated for tomorrow. Texas versus Ohio State. Alabama versus Florida State. Notre Dame versus Clemson. It's a couple great games on for tomorrow, man. So just continue to check in. Josh's Proximity. These are my top 5 quarterbacks for fantasy football this year. And number 5 is Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott is going to be star-studded, star-driven this year. And you're going to see them put the ball in the air a lot more, especially now that Micah Parsons is gone. I had him top 5 to begin with. Number 4, I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels last year had a terrific coming out party. He might continue this trajectory. And, yeah, that's just what I got right now. Number 3, I'm going Joe Burrow. Now, the only reason why Joe Burrow is not going to be 1 or 2 is because he doesn't have the upside with the legs and rushing when it comes to the next top 2 guys. Obviously, Lamar Jackson is number 2. And then number 1 quarterback in fantasy football that has been for quite some time is Josh Allen. So, hey, make sure you are up to date. My draft officially starts tomorrow. I got my big draft on Sunday. I got another draft on Monday and another draft on Tuesday. So, NFL is officially here. Once again, Josh's Proximity. We out, baby.